Well, how did your involvement in this affect you personally in the long run? Like, what did you take from being
Oh my
involved with
God.
it?
Well, I could cry just thinking about it. When I first heard that you and these guys were doing this with the Corby Renaissance Fair, I was like, oh my God, what are we doing? Are we going to have another fair? I was like, yes, let's do it, And then somebody said, no, it's on the Facebook and they're going to do archives, they're going to do this. And I'm like, so I looked at least once a week to see what pictures are updated there. And it's just like, wow, what did I take from it? Sense of community, sense of life then. I saw pictures of me in Francois with Theo and Jassy just going, wow. As I say, what struck me more than anything about all the photos that are on that page is we all just look friggin' happy. I don't know how else to say it. It's like, it was such a low-tech thing. We didn't have all these freaking gizmos and gadgets and this, that, and the other. And we were just there for each other. We were just there for each other. And I think it started for me going tree planting, because to me it was just, all the Renaissance Fair was just a kind of expansion of that family of tree planters. It was just a big expansion. But this time it was based on music and theatre and arts, and that's what I took from it. But I still live in my heart. I still live in the 70s, thank God.
What did you learn from it?
I think it affirmed what it did to me. I think it affirmed that that's how I want to live my life. But I hope I still am. And I hope I'm still learning how to live that way. And not let it get like mainstream, insular and nuclear, that we're still part of the whole, that we are a part of a whole, and that this is how we work best as humans in a community.
One of the things that got me going is I read an article a few years ago featuring Doug Talk, who is the organizer of the music festival. And it basically wrote the fair off. Doug himself didn't disparage the fair, but he said this thing is huge and I have no information. But other people were saying, oh, it's just a bunch of hippies and stuff, and it was massively disorganized and all this stuff. That's not true, is it?
I don't even care about stuff like that. I don't like that kind of even terminology. I mean, I don't mind if somebody calls me a hippie. It doesn't really matter to me, but I don't like it because I think it just segregates people.
But what I'm trying to get at there is there's no way this thing was loosey-goosey. It was a major planned event.
Oh my God.
That a lot of people worked really hard on.
From 1 year to the next. Oh my God. You think we could feed that many people and not be organized?
That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, I mean, come on. How could we not be organized and feed that many people? People need to eat. People need to have a hub. And that's what the kitchen was. It was the hub.
Do you remember your budget at all?
No, absolutely no recollection. Now, if somebody put that in front of me and said, this is what you did, here, there, like Garth would be a good one for that. He might remember that kind of stuff. Who else would remember that kind of stuff? I probably should, but I don't.
I do.
How do you remember
I don't remember your specific budget, but I remember the fair budgets because I was always in on those discussions.
Well, I'm sure
when I first came to the fair, I was the only one. This was in the days of Larry Robbins, and Ron Clark had just shown up on the scene to work with the fair.
Yeah.
This was after you and him were together for a while, and none of those guys had any real experience with fairs. I was the only one who'd actually done a festival.
Right.
And I'd actually produced a festival by that time. And they were glad to see me. And Ron and I began this 7-year discussion. That went on and on. Even after I had kind of fallen out and got into my cups a little deeper and was out on the edge, Ron would still show up at the barn with a half-sack of beer.
Yeah.
And quiz me.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of thought put into everything.
Oh my God,
Ron worked year-round trying to figure stuff out.
Oh, I think a lot of people work year-round figuring stuff out. Absolutely, for sure. I mean, we did in our own different kind of way with the kitchen. But yeah, we always thought about it, because we always thought about it from 1 year to the next, because you have to. Now what we put forward from 1 year to the next, I'm not really sure, but I know we always thought about it, always. Because we're all foodies, and we knew that food was important. Like our our kids still have memories of getting carob on Easter, for God's sake. Like they still, you know what I mean? It's like, health and food go hand in hand, and they certainly did with our kids.